Good morning, welcome to the Alpha Female Lounge on Asake Online. My name is Pamela Mpofu and I am your host. On the show, we discuss social, cultural, political, and economic issues affecting young women in Matabeleland South. Today, we're going to be discussing the issue of voter registration and the importance of voting amongst young women. Joining me in the studio today to discuss this issue is Ellen Juba and Tatenda Kombora. Ladies, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us.
Welcome.
Thank you.
May you
Thank you
please
so much.
introduce yourself to the viewers?
Okay, my name is Tatenda Kombora. I am the founder and director of an organization that is called the BlackUnika Foundation. It deals with humanitarianism, Pan-Africanism, and feminism. And I'm also a writer and a blogger, focusing specifically on gender issues and policy issues as well.
Okay, Ellen?
Good morning again. My name is Juba Olgah. I'm the provincial ZEC gender focal person for Bulawayo province. Thank
All right.
you.
Thank you so much, guys, for coming. So straight into it. Tatenda, as a young woman who's passionate about the development and empowerment of women in political spaces, how important is it for young women to register to vote and also to cast their vote in the upcoming 2023 elections?
Well, I'll just say that it is important for anyone, regardless of their gender, to be able to register to vote and to be able to cast their vote. But specifically when we look at young women, because of the way that our society is, we live in a patriarchal society, and in the political arena, we've seen that it is only males that have actually been in power since time immemorial. So it then becomes a matter of paramount importance for young women to be able to go register to vote and to also to be able to cast their vote. And over the years, we've been seeing quite a number of women. Actually, I think women are the largest groups that actually go and cast their vote. But this has not amounted to female leadership. But now, because we have a new population of young women that are coming forward and registering to vote, and some who are hopefully going to be running, we're saying that it is so important that these young women go register to vote, go actually to vote themselves, and to also be able to stand for elections, so that at the end of the day, we've got this new breed of leadership that will definitely, hopefully, bring change to Zimbabwe.
Okay, thank you so much for that, Tatenda. Ellen, the voter registration exercise is already underway. Are young people aware out there, according to what you guys have seen in your numbers of people coming to register to vote? Are young people aware of their right to vote and what it means? Are they also aware that the voter registration exercise is underway?
Thank you for that question, Pam. But I'll just say, in general, the electorate is aware. But because at times there is apathy, should I say so? Or maybe at times people believe that registering is done when it's towards elections. But we are saying ZEC is open every day, Monday to Friday, from 8 up to 3 because of lockdown. But when there is no lockdown, we're open from 7:45 up to 5:45, from Monday to Friday. We're open in the office registering people is from 18 years and above. You should have your ID and proof of residence in your name. Right, I can see you're smiling. If you don't have proof of residence in your name, there's no problem. Okay. We have the VR9. The VR9 is the voter registration affidavit. It is provided for at law by ZEC. So what is needed, you just bring yourself and your ID, you just give you the affidavit. We've got the commissioners of oath and the offices who are always available to assist the people who are coming to register.
Okay.
Thank you.
So on that note, you said at your offices.
Yes.
My next question now would be, why is the commission not trying to decentralize the voter registration places to at least, let's say, per location? Maybe let's say we have one in Kulmane, you put one there so that people in Kulmane can go there. Because I'm sure a number of people think of going to Famona to register and just think it's a lot of work. So why rather don't you decentralize the stations to each and every place, including the remote areas? Because I'm certain that some people, the young women there deep down in Cholocho, deep down there in Plumtree, is not aware that it's now time to register to vote.
Oh, I'm glad you are now understanding the registration, Pam. Right. As Zeki was saying, we are only located in Famona. That's right. But we are saying ZEC is there to service its stakeholders in the whole of Bulawayo province. Therefore, we are saying you organize yourselves. It doesn't matter where you are as long you're in Bulawayo. Right, like I said, I am representing Bulawayo.
Yes.
It doesn't matter where you are, what 1 or up to what 21, 29. Organize your constituencies, organize the people who want to register to vote. You communicate with our office. We're just a phone away. You just phone us. We take the machines, we come to where you are. We register you for free.
Okay.
Imagine, we just come. It doesn't matter that you should always come, but you just tell us where you are, organize, you just tell us. We've got around 10, 20, 30 or 40 people, depending with the number of people you'd have organized or arranged. Maybe you organize the venue also, you know the places we are staying, the schools, the community halls. We just come with our machines, we register people.
Pam, if I may just come in there, as a person who works with young people and who's been very much involved in the drive to get people to register to vote and to understand why they need to vote, I'll say that ZEC hasn't really been doing much in terms of making sure that people, especially in the rural areas and even in the ghetto or the high density suburb, to get them to actually know that a registration is going on. If you go to town, how many posters have you actually seen that show that registration is taking place? Even the online presence, when we then look at ZEC, it's really not that large. We only have organizations such as the ARC that are not really a part of government, that are doing the mandate that ZEC is supposed to be doing. So at the end of the day, this creates a problem whereby we're saying that we want people to register to vote, but we are not telling or spreading the news that it's now time to actually get to register to vote. I remember at a certain point in time, it was about a month ago, I put a status on my WhatsApp, and I was just telling people about the registration process. So someone actually inboxed me. He's a young person. It's like, oh, so voting registration is actually going on. Oh, when did it actually start? And the other person that then also inboxed me and asked me a similar question is actually a law student at the University of Zimbabwe. And you'd expect that someone who's in that kind of field would know, but then they don't. So at the end of the day, that just shows you that there's still more that needs really to be done for this message to be spread and to actually get people to register to vote so that they can cast their vote in 2023.
Thank you for saying that, Tatenda. I think now that it's now part on, I don't know if it's the advertising, the public relations for the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission to target the places where there are young people to make sure that they are aware of the voter registration process that's going on. Yeah. So now, in the past election, especially the past one, 2018, we saw that women went through a lot. Women were ridiculed.
Oh, sorry. Maybe before you go there, to respond just briefly to what you said.
Okay.
You spoke about the ARC. ARC is an extension, or maybe should I say is a civic society organization, which also is encouraged to mobilize people to come and register to ZEC. It's the right thing that they are doing. We really appreciate that we've got the CSOs that are doing something about voter registration.
Okay, thank
Thank
you for highlighting that.
Thank you.
Okay, as I was saying that in the past election, we saw that women were put through a lot.
Yeah.
They were ridiculed, they were labeled, they were emotionally abused. A lot of unnecessary things were said about women in political spaces. Now, because of that, a lot of young women pushed back because of the fear of, if I try to go into a political space, this would also happen to me. What is the commission doing to make sure that women do not go through such again during elections and pre-elections?
Zimbabwe Electoral Commission is enacted in such a way that it does the registration and runs elections. That's the mandate for ZEC. When it comes to people being bastardized, bullied, humiliated, we are equally affected, but we are not a security agent as ZEC. You're getting my point. We are equally affected and disturbed because the number of women has dropped. Like she highlighted that the women in parliament, the quota system is now having names. You know, maybe the people are starting to call it the Bakos and stuff like that. But as ZEC, we're equally affected because in our electoral cycle, we've got the parts we are saying women should be encouraged to come and participate in elections. Yes, but it's because of maybe the channels that are being used and stuff like that. If we go out and try to sensitize the electorate, they maybe associate ZEC to what I don't know. And we are therefore saying we want to demystify whatever they are thinking about ZEC. We're saying women, especially young women, come in, participate in elections. We already have the inclusion, the gender inclusion policy. And the policy is so much encouraging the young people, especially women, which was, it was enacted according to the Constitution, Section 56, the Section 17. It's encouraging women especially to participate. We are therefore saying, as young people, women, come forth, we assist. We encourage, you just register for free, you join a political party or you come as an independent. We welcome everyone as long as you are 18 years and above and a registered voter. Thank you.
Okay. I think I will ask again along what I asked before, that the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission is supposed to make sure that there is peace during elections, right? And I think what happened in the previous election was definitely not peaceful. And I would like to believe that the commission can do something to make sure that political parties or even independent individuals adhere and respect everyone who's participating, who's running for parliamentary seat or senate, is respected during that time.
Oh, maybe if I got you right. You are saying ZEC should make sure everyone is protected.
Yes.
Like I highlighted, the mandate of ZEC is for registering the voters and running elections and the referenda. When you are protecting a person, we're talking of security. Security, we're talking of the police and the soldiers or the ZPS according to the Constitution. ZEC doesn't provide security, but we are preaching peace. That's why we are having a code of conduct for the political parties and the candidates that are participating in elections. In the event something you do is not right, it's unfortunate we cannot handcuff a person, but you are cautioned by ZEC if it comes to our attention that as a political agent or as a political candidate, you are misbehaving or doing something somewhere. It's unfortunate that we cannot handcuff directly, but providing security is not the mandate for ZEC according to the Constitution in Section 239.
Right.
Thank you.
Anything you'd like to add to it?
Well, my thoughts are that in as much as it might not be the mandate of ZEC to actually make sure that the candidates are safe, they are candidates, and that means that in some way or other they are aligned to ZEC. But what I can then say from what she said and what I'm getting is that we need reforms in terms of our electoral act, the electoral act that we're currently using. I think that will also equip ZEC to be able, the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission, to be able to do the things that we wanted to do in terms of the harassment of women, in terms of the exploitation of women in so many different spaces. Because we will, yes, no woman, whether you're a man or whether you're a man or a woman, you wouldn't have liked the kind of injustice that was perpetrated against the woman in 2018 and even before then. But then what we now have to do is to act or advocate towards electoral reforms that will, at the end of the day, also equip ZEC to be able to handle such cases in the future. Because looking at the patriarchal situation in Zimbabwe, we definitely know that there are going to be more of this violence that is going to be perpetrated against women. But at least if we equip ZEC, we equip the police force to be able to handle such violence, then we'll have done a lot of things in the right way.
In case you're just tuning in, this is the Alpha Female Lounge on Asake Online. I'm Pamela Mpofu, your host. Today we're discussing voter registration and the importance of voting amongst young women in Matabeleland. I'm joined by Tatenda and Ellen from the Zimbabwe Electoral Council. So, Commission, I'm sorry. So, you guys want to stick around because we still have more coming up. Okay, so in Section 124 of the Constitution of Zimbabwe, it promotes the participation of women in political spaces under the proportional representation. However, we don't have young women in these seats, yet ZEC promotes that young women should come. And also considering that our constitution says that for you to run for some of these major seats, you should be 40. So now the question is, how do we try to have young women? But young women mean like women under the age of 25, probably maybe between 18 to 25. We get them to be able to get spaces in parliament before they reach 40, because we are not seeing that. All we have are older women, and it's difficult for older women to represent the needs of younger women.
Okay, first of all, I think that everything begins in the home. We are here right now, we're talking, but at the end of the day, after work, after everything has been said and done, you always go back to your home. And that is where most of the primary learning is done in any child. So that conditioning that will then teach a boy child to say, you are the male, you are superior, you can do whatever and however you want it. And that same conditioning will tell the girl, you are the female, you are subservient, your kingdom is in the house, and that's all that you're going to amount to. You should never try and get out of that shell and go run for political office and etc. So when children are young, we teach them how they are supposed to be when they grow up. The same way we were taught how to greet older people, how to talk to older people, we're also taught the kind of jobs that we're supposed to look forward to, the kind of jobs that we actually qualify for. So females will then, when they grow up, because they've been taught that, you know what, you're more of a caring, nurturing person, and so you should then look at things that are caring and nurturing. They would look for having jobs such as teachers, nurses, and those kind of fields. And if they can get to any other organizations, maybe companies, you then find them in the PR relations or in those soft, caring kind of institutions. So then now it then becomes a problem when all of a sudden a young woman is grown up, and then you're saying that this young woman that you've taught that your place is in the home, your place is in the kitchen and the bedroom, has suddenly can now aspire to want to be the president of the nation or to want to be a member of parliament. So in essence, what I'm saying is it starts in the home, and the fight should also be in the home. Mothers and fathers fathers should teach their young daughters to say, you can also run for office, you
Very
can
true.
also be a politician, and you can do whatever. What is important is in the brains and not what, like how you look like, the physical outfit of everything else. And to also teach the sons to say that you respect a person based on who they are on the inside, their brains, their heart, and not how they look like, whether they're male or female. Gender should not be a qualification on whether you choose or not, will you choose to respect a person or not. So it should start in the home. We should start teaching our children to be able to be confident enough to go for these leadership positions, and to also to respect our sons, to respect those women that go for these leadership positions. That's first. The second thing now is, whilst the quota system has tried to put women in power and in politics, it has, at the end of the day, for me, and according to statistics, there has been a reduction of women that have been directly elected to parliament without the proportional representation. And so at the end of the day, the quota system isn't working. We need to look for more reforms whereby we actually get women in parliament. Women have been put in parliament, but what have they been doing in parliament? They will only have a few number of women that we can actually point out to say, she's been vibrant, she's been vocal, and she's talked of women's issues. When we look at Priscilla Messi Hairambi, you know, she talked, she pushed for the sanitary hygiene in schools. She also pushed for things in the hygiene sector, and like girl-child education and so forth. So we need more of those women, but we need to start creating these women in our homes so that we can have them in the political spaces at the end of the day.
Thank you so much for that, Tatenda. Ellen?
Yeah, maybe to buttress the point you just said, ZEC also implements the reforms. We don't craft laws. We just implement what is there. What is not happening, it means it's not in black and white. Everything else that is in black and white, as ZEC, we try our level best to implement. Like you spoke about the quota system.
Yes.
We encourage people, we encourage political parties about the quota system. That's our job. We just implement. Then about the political parties, how they choose their leaders, ZEC is not mandated to do that. But we are only receiving the candidates from the political parties. And we implement what is there. It's in the law. You spoke also about the registering of young people, the 18 years to 25. We are in Benside here. Benside is in Bulawayo East. In Bulawayo East, like as a starting point, let's talk about where we are right now.
Yes.
Bulawayo East, when we're looking at our records in Bulawayo, we only have 686 females registered. But we've got more than 686. I'm talking of the age between 18 and 24. Okay. Then we go to 25 and 29, we'll be having 1,352. Of which we've got, when we add with the 600, it means we'll be having around 2,000 registered voters between 18 years and 29. That's women only. But you were saying what the Bulawayo East has got, what 3 and what 4. We're saying it's bigger than that. The young women in that in this constituency, they are more. We as ZEC, we are encouraging. Our job is to encourage and tell people that it is their legal right to register to vote. In case people they don't know, they've got other benefits you get other than voting. You register, you can decide along the way to be a candidate. That's a benefit. You register, there's a CDF fund, the Community Development Fund, and the CDF is given by the government, considering the number of registered voters in that constituency. If we were few in Bulawayo East, we always complain, why are we not getting the CDF fund? We won't get it because we are not registered. If we register, it will also assist the finance department to do the budgeting for our constituencies. Thank you.
Okay. Like we just saw in the recent Zambian elections, there was a high turnout for youths that came to vote. And you highlighted that most of these things start at home.
Yes.
Now we have young women, 18 to 25.
Yes.
We want to have a high turnout of youth because youth face a lot of challenges in Zimbabwe, particularly in Matabeleland. We have a lot of challenges. What can we do now between this period up until the elections? What can be done by both all stakeholders, the government, the commissions, and the community? What can be done to make sure that young women go register to vote and cast their vote in the next election?
Okay, first thing is we need to understand and we need to go out to register to vote. Yes. That is the simple first thing that all of us need to do. But for us to understand why we need to register to vote, you just wake up and you look at the political, economic and social situation in Zimbabwe. If you're happy with it, then you've got a choice not to register. But if you're not happy with the current situation, be it political, economic, or social, then you've got the push that you need to actually go out and register to vote. So we need to also start crafting conversations. I'm happy that we're here and we're talking about such an important opportunity for us to be able to go register to vote. And I'm happy that we also have stakeholders here engaging in this kind of conversations. We need more of these conversations, but these conversations should be structured in us going out to register to vote. That is first. The second thing that we also need is we can't just be telling young people that go out, register to vote so that you can cast your vote. No, you also need to register to vote so that you can also run as candidates in the upcoming elections, because according to the Electoral Act, as long as you're 21 years and above, you can run for council, you can also run for parliament. So if you are around that age, why are you only considering to only go and cast your vote for someone else? Something that our parents have been doing for so many years. It's time that we have female leaders that are not only just going to be able to responsible enough to go cast their vote, but you need to be responsible enough to know and have the courage to run as candidates, because we need a female leadership in Zimbabwe. But it's not just going to come by us talking and having conversations like this, but it's going to take us going a step further to actually run as candidates. And when we now have people that are running as candidates, we now also have to understand that these people need funding. If we look at the previous 2018 elections, whereby we had quite a number of young people running, most of them, if you ask them now the reasons why they lost, they'll tell you that there wasn't enough resources that were there. So when we then have these candidates, we need CSOs, civil society organizations coming into play and actually helping fund these young people, so that at the end of the day, we have the young women that we want in parliament, we have the youth that we want in parliament, and we have a Zimbabwe that all of us can wake up and be proud of.
Okay, thank you so much, Ellen.
I would say, exactly like I highlighted, we are always open. We are always open, waiting for people to come and register. You at times you get shocked. You find very old people around 70s, 80s, 90s. It will be them coming saying, "We've got passion for this." But the young people, they don't bother. They don't come. We don't know what the challenge is. Honestly, you just wonder what is happening with the young people. They just don't come. But our office is open. Like I also highlighted, I said our offices are open, and you can always communicate with my supervisor, Mrs. S. Coupe, on 0773 715 779. You can call her anytime. You mobilize your subjects in your ward or in your community. After mobilizing, you just phone her. We just phone away. We organize a day. We agree. We just come. We don't charge anything. As long as between working hours and working days. It is our job. We want people to register. And the other thing, maybe people that are not aware of, the constitution is saying in Zimbabwe we have 210 constituencies. Then we've got 10 provinces, including Bulawayo Metropolitan. We are saying if people are not registered enough, the the constituencies will be reduced. I give a good example. We've got Country Park. They just did an amazing and sterling thing. They've got registered voters who are above 27,000. They just that word. Okay, so the constitution is saying if people are registered between 22,000 and 30,000, they can stand as a constituency on their own, meaning Country Park can stand on their own as a constituency. But we are at times forced to be measured as locations. A good example, we look at Hillside and Benside. You were forced to measure because of the number of the registered voters. It's so few, it's so limited that when we go up there, they are forced to reduce the constituencies. We are saying, like when we look at now, we are having 12 constituencies. If people are not coming forth to register in Bulawayo, mark my words, we are going to, the constituencies will be reduced. It means we are donating, it's us voters, it's us registrants who are not forthcoming. There's nothing that you need. We don't ask you anything. You just come register for free. You increase the number, we maintain our seats. When we're maintaining our seats, the wards and the constituencies, it means we are still creating jobs for ourselves. If we are not registering, it means we're donating our jobs to other provinces. So I am appealing to the people of Bulawayo, especially the people of Zimbabwe, let's go and register so that we don't sell or betray our constituencies and wards. Thank you.
Okay, there's also you see in high schools we have organizations. Like if you look at the junior parliament, the junior council, these people are very pivotal and instrumental in encouraging their peers to vote because of the influence that they'll probably have in their schools and constituencies. How then can they be assisted to make sure that they push their peers to register to vote?
I think that the first thing, I'm really happy that she's talking about how ZEC can now go to a certain place as long as, so now I think what she has to tell the rest of everyone that is watching is how many people are needed to actually be able to draw ZEC to come and get people to register to vote. Because take for instance, I remember when I was at school, I was also in the junior parliament. Our school had over 1,000 students, and when you then look at the A-level students, maybe you might get a number that is definitely over 200 students. So if we have those junior parliamentarians, those junior councils in those schools, they can then mobilize other young people to get to actually vote. But I'll just like to take us back. She mentioned the issue of why young people are not registering to vote. And I think that is very important for any conversation that wants to address whether it's voter apathy or anything related to electoral reforms. Young people are saying they are tired, but then when you look at the ages of these young people, you ask them, have you ever, most have never actually casted their first ballots yet, and some have only just casted in one election, and already they are tired. And so at the end of the day, that's really, that's not an excuse. And the second reason might be most say that, we've had most of our elections having irregularities. We feel that we were cheated in these instances, and we need to address those. And the way that we can address that is to say that most young people believe that elections don't work in Zimbabwe. But what we need to understand is that elections work in Zimbabwe. Yes. Voting is actually important, because when you look at the 2008 election, we had the MDC led by Morgan Tsvangirai actually beating the ZANU-PF, and I think it had close to 48% of the voter, because people turned out in their large numbers to vote. In 2018 here in Bulawayo, we had 11 constituencies being taken by the opposition and only one being taken by the current ruling ZANU-PF government. And that shows you that when people unify, when people come together with a certain goal in mind to say, let's go out, let's go register to vote, and let's go register to vote for something that unifies us, for something that we want, we have a desired effect. In 2018, Bulawayo was majorly won by the opposition. In 2008, the MDC actually won the election. So at the end of the day, we see that voting in Zimbabwe actually works. But what we need to do, the things that we need to learn from the Zambian election is that, first of all, you register to vote. Second, you turn out in your large numbers and you turn out, you go cast your ballot. But when you cast your ballot, you also have to be able to defend your vote. Because what we saw in Zambia were young people refusing to leave after they'd cast their votes to say that we're not going anywhere because this is usually where the rigging takes place. Yes. And we need young people that do that. I was so much surprised and also happy when we had young people in Zambia going out to cast their ballots wearing their graduation uniforms. That was a statement on its own to say that we are graduates right now, but we don't have jobs, we don't have a future. And because of that, that has led us to go register to vote. So as a young person, you cannot be seated at home and saying, I don't have a job or I can't afford to go to university, while at least you're not doing anything about it. You've been given the opportunity to do something about it, so go out and actually register to vote.
All right, thank you so much, Tatenda. Okay, before we wrap this up, ladies, anything just shortly that you would like to say out there to the young ladies who are watching the show? Ellen, you can go first.
Thank you. I would like to encourage the young women of Zimbabwe, especially the young women of Bulawayo. Ladies, come register. Come register. Registration is always in progress. We are really disappointed, should I say, by the figures of the young people in Bulawayo. We've got so much, quite a big number of people, of young people in Bulawayo, but come to voters' roll, we really get a few. To buttress on the other point she touched about women at colleges and at schools, we've tried that. We've been going to schools and colleges. When you go to colleges, you find about 100, they will not be belonging. Maybe if you say 100% of people will be registering, 80% they won't be belonging to Bulawayo. They'll be belonging to other provinces and other areas. We are saying people of Bulawayo register to vote. Because the law is saying ZEC offices register people. We register, even if you are here, Tatenda, you say, okay, I want to vote maybe in Buhera, you say maybe you want to vote in Mad South, we just register you. That's the law. But you are saying, even if we go to, we've been to colleges around Bulawayo, we register people. At the end of the day, you find we would have registered over 200 people. But only 150 will be belonging to other provinces. Only 50 will be belonging to Bulawayo.
Okay.
So we are saying, people of Bulawayo, let's register to vote. Come in your numbers. We are really encouraging you. Our office is open. Organize your people where you are staying. If you feel Famona is too far for you, organize yourselves. We'll just come as they will bring our kids. We register you. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much, Ellen. Tatenda.
Well, as Bulawayo and as Matabeleland, we've always been trying to push the Matabeleland agenda, and we've had so much talk about Matabeleland being marginalized, and you see cases of that. And for us to actually get Zimbabwe to adopt a Matabeleland agenda, or to actually get our issues as a Matabeleland people or as Matabeleland inhabitants, we need to get a record number of people in parliament that are from our region. But for us to be able to get leaders in parliament or in council for that are from Matabeleland, we need first to register to vote, because there is no way that you're going to make that decision if you're not registered to vote. Second thing, for us to get those leaders in parliament, we need actually to run ourselves. We need to keep our constituencies, as she was saying, we need to keep our constituencies, but we also need to be able to run young women. I don't know how I can say this in a way that will actually convince, but young women, the time is now. That is the message that I'm leaving with them. The time is now. We've been so long been subjugated and oppressed, and we've always been crying and complaining, but now it's not the time to cry and complain. Now is the time to act, and the only way you can act right now is to register to vote, and when the time comes, you have to run for those positions. That's all.
Thank you so much, Tatenda. That was beautiful. And thank you so much, guys, for coming on to the show to share your views and to let us know the statistics and how it looks. I'm certain that everyone that watched today is aware that we are not really turning out that much. So what we can do is mobilize ourselves. We can contact ZEC, or for those who can, you can go to their offices in Famona, and then they will come to your respective places to come and register you to vote, because like Tatenda said, the time is now for us to take our space and cast our vote. Thank you so much for tuning into the Alpha Female Lounge with me, Pamela Mpofu, your host. Don't forget to follow us on social media pages at SiteZW on Twitter, on YouTube, on